1961 Corvette Custom Convertible. All aluminum LS1 Corvette engine. It's fuel injected, 4-speed transmission. Boy, it'll be up on the block before too long. From cable cars to collector cars, no shortage of great transportation in New Orleans. And here at Barrett Jackson, well, that is what's up on the McGuire's on deck cam. It's a 2022 Ram 1500 TRX Ignition Edition. That'll be up on the block very soon. Meanwhile, they just sold a 1979 Ford Bronco custom SUV. You see it right there. It sold for $64,000.
I love the triple side stripes on that in tri-tone. You could get those on the Bronco. You could get them on the Ford Pinto Cruisin' Wagon as well in '79.
Love that era, the graphics. Once again, that 2022 Ram 1500 coming up on the block, and this is the TRX Ignition Edition.
Well, for a decade, Ford had this sort of Baja truck market all to themselves with a Raptor, and when Dodge finally put up their offering, they wanted it to completely smoke the Raptor, and they did it in a lot of ways. First, by getting the Hellcat engine, so you have over 700 horsepower thanks to the supercharged V8 you'd find in a Charger or Challenger under the hood. Big suspension travel, wide body, you can see, and the Ignition Edition basically brought this color and a few other cool styling options. Already $125,000. Wow.
I was going to say, we have our first six-figure car of the auction. It hit 100,000 and then just blew past it.
So, did they call this the TRX because Tyrannosaurus X wouldn't fit on the emblem? Maybe.
Well, the Raptor's a dinosaur. They wanted to do an even bigger dinosaur, obviously. And there's a few little Easter eggs in there, including one with a T-Rex sort of eating a Raptor. I believe it's somewhere in the front glass, sort of as a little subtle dig at Ford. Cool rivalry. Now, these things are, well, more valuable than a normal Raptor, but then Ford finally answered themselves. We have one selling today, a Raptor R with the GT500 engine and 700 horsepower as well.
$135,000.
This entire row is a select offering from MS Classic Cars in Seekonk, Mass. The two Mopars crossed the block yesterday. Today, yes, this is your 4-speed dual quad positive traction 409, just like the Beach Boys sang about in a 1962 bubble top. Here's a gorgeous Chevy 3100 dropped on its replacement frame, 18-inch wheels, LS2 small block. Just a beautiful custom build. I'm drawn to this 1964 Corvette. Chevy made 14,000 convertibles that year. Roughly 3,000 Corvettes were in satin silver. Now this one has day 2 mods, side pipes, turbine wheels, and a highly polished 327 with modern air conditioning and even cup holders. All of these beauties from MS Classic Cars.
Once again, we'll be seeing those cars crossing the block over the course of today. Meanwhile, we've got a 2023 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited. It's a Rubicon with a 392 cubic inch engine.
You know, one thing I like about the Detroit 3 as opposed to, let's say, many of the import brands, they will build your car to taste and give it as much power as you can handle. You can get a 4-cylinder Jeep, you can get a V6 Jeep, you can get a V8 Jeep, and you can get this, the 392.
They didn't initially offer a V8 Jeep when they did the redesign. There were a few years where they were saying, well, we can't, the nose is too short, it can't be safe, it'd be dangerous to have that much horsepower. But clearly they figured it out and did it. 470 horsepower V8 Jeep. Whoever would have thought?
Well, Super Saturday delivering yet again $96,000 for that 2023 Jeep Wrangler, the Unlimited Rubicon 392.
Hundreds of cars, thousands of bidders, millions of fans. One stage captures them all. Consign today to have your vehicle considered for Barrett Jackson Scottsdale, January 20th through 28th, 2024. Start at barrett-jackson.com.
If you're looking for a collection of cars that spans the full spectrum of American performance, we'll look no further than the Sherwood Classics collection. It's got modern machinery, it's got resto mods, and of course, classic American iron, like Lot 778, a 1958 Corvette. Convertible, of course, and special, restored to NCRS standards. That's the National Corvette Restorer Society. In that interior, perfection. Underneath the hood, a great engine, 283 cubic inches, fuel injection. All the performance you could ask for back in 1958. You love Corvettes, but you want something with better power, more performance? Well, how about a 1961 Resto Mod? It's Lot 681 LS engine, perfect brakes, all that modern technology in an old body. Oh, but you're a Ford guy? Well, they've got that too. A 1969 Mustang. It's a 428 Super Cobra Jet drag pack. It's Lot 779. That big, beautiful top-loader transmission, 4 speeds, and of course, 428 cubic inches that'll blast you down the drag strip. But if you're craving modern performance, well, the Sherwood Classics collection has you covered there as well. Like Lot 735, a 2005 Ford GT. I absolutely love this paint scheme. The Wimbledon white, the Guardsman blue stripes, 5.4-liter hand-built aluminum V8 engine, 6-speed transmission. This car has to be the perfect combination of classic styling and modern performance.
Car, that Stinger hood in a contrasting color to the body color, often but not always matching the interior as has been done here.
Yes, but this is a custom, so it probably didn't start life as a 427, probably a small block Corvette, which is why we aren't seeing a big 6-figure number on this one, but still looks every bit of the part. 427 under the hood, and some other improvements. You have the Tremec 5-speed, so you have that extra highway gear with a smoother, easier to whip around 5-speed. Also air conditioning, which you couldn't get in the big block cars in 66 and 67.
Correct 3 deuces, the correct carburetors as used in the 435 horse version. Beautifully done bodywork here in ermine white with red upholstery and the optional for 67 headrests on those seats.
1967 Corvette with that beautiful Stinger hood just sold here at Barrett Jackson for $87,000. It's a custom, beautifully done, big 427 cubic inch big block under the hood. 1967.
Giving the big block cars a special hood. This was kind of the shape of the Stingray, with that being the tail, but without the contrasting striping. So this one presents as a 427, 435 horsepower version, top of the line with the 3 2-barrel carburetors. This one's been treated to a set of headers and other mods.
And this one is the real deal, an L89, one of 624 built. So they put aluminum heads on the 427 to give it a little extra performance. Now the L88 is actually the even more powerful one, even though it's a lower number, or it's more of a racing version. This one's still a very streetable car and a beautiful restoration.
And it's a 4-speed car as well. That's why I would expect this to be getting towards 6 figures. We're at 62,000. All of these Corvette coupes had T-tops. That is 2 removable top panels. They removed from the sides, and they had a spine underneath that formed the T, connecting the windshield to the B-pillar. And that continued throughout the entire run of C3s. If you don't see that seam in the roof denoting the T-tops, then you're looking at a Corvette convertible with a 1-piece hardtop.
Well, I can see one thing that's not stock, and that's the big side pipes down the side. Much more like a race car you'd see going down the track. You wouldn't want to touch those things when you're getting out of the car. You would want to warn your passenger not to touch their legs against that to burn you. But very cool. You can see the headers, the end of it coming out to the exhaust there. Very cool.
Yeah, they're called header mufflers. Hooker made them, and also a company called Custom Headers that sponsored the Owens Corning Corvette and Camaro race teams for Tony DiLorenzo and Jerry Thompson. We have those on our Trans Am car because they had that sponsorship, and yes, I've burned my shin a couple times. Very nice gleaming restoration, fresh paint, all of the right things that you would want on a 68 if you were speccing one out on the order sheet.
I mean, back in 1968, you could start at 300 horsepower with the 327, work your way up. They had an optional 350, but then you got into the 427s, and there were multiple options with horsepower there, starting at 390, going all the way up to this one, 435.
The only thing I'm seeing I'm not sure of is that the fender flares over the tires, to me, look wider than stock. I'd have to see it next to a couple of others to be sure, but it looks like this one's had a little bit of cosmetic surgery.
Well, the way